This is IBM Museum. And sometimes I just have things that just go south on me. I wanted to do a video. I mean, I was even corrected by the live stream I did of, I said try and power the PC Junior up. And it ended up being more of an inventory of the items I have for the PC Junior. And I did make a comment during that live stream that I only had one of the power bricks for the PC Junior, despite having all the other stuff, even having two complete units that have the separate power supply board inside the unit. But I only had that one power supply unit. I'm going to get turned around here. I'll get off the built-in webcam. And I mean, I went through and I even edited the description or the titling of that live stream upon request, because I didn't go through and didn't try and power up the unit. I should have checked this even further, and I've even had some time frame between that I could have ordered or checked, found another one of these power bricks. And what I'm talking about here, I've got the one of my units opened up, but this is just a power brick, and it goes through and it does plug into, it has its own attached cable and everything else. And this is an old style, wall wart transformer. And it's supposed to produce 18 volts AC out of this, that then the power supply board within the PC Junior works, generates the voltages that are needed to the main board. And there are a few power supply options that go through and do actually replace this internal board here. And I mean, modern equivalents to go through and to correct a lot of problems that can go wrong. Now, if I had a internal, the power board inside, bad on one of the units or something like that, that wouldn't be an issue because I have a second unit. But this power brick, I only have one of these. In fact, I've even got it connected to power. I do hear a little bit of a hum as it's plugged in. But for my meter, and I've got this switch to AC, and I've even got the kind of the caps that get more exposed test ends there. And I don't know what the pinout of this is, but just going through and probing at it, this is what I get on. And this is, again, it's set to the AC range. Get a lot of reflections, my ring light, all the other lights in the room. So that's on, and of course, AC doesn't matter what your colored probes are on. So there's going the center. And this power plug is actually reversible. I mean, it is AC. You can have it in either direction there. And so the last one to test for is that center to one side. And I'm sure there's capacitors or something else that have gone bad in this power supply. I'll probably look to see if I can find a, get a replacement, or I can go through and I've got transformers around and see if I can go through and get the just a replacement for this. Now, I'm going to go through and unplug it. I mean, there's the commentary that when you have a PC Junior, you want to go through and you want to have it unplugged because it's when it's plugged in, I mean, it's always live. It's always can go through and they'll degrade the electronics in here. And this is a unit that I've had idle and in a case for years upon years. And I mean, it otherwise could have degraded over time, but and it's marked as 16.7 volts AC. It's supposed to be just a 33 watt power supply. And so I'm just looking, and it's marked as just the PCjr power supply. So I've got to come up with another one of these. I was all set to go otherwise, and had to get Jens got the video capture going and everything else. Apparently, it was set otherwise, but this is going to be a little bit difficult for me to power up either one of the PCjrs I have if I don't have a working power brick for that. These internal power boards, they may work as well. Now, when I check, there's a aftermarket power supply that uses a what's called a Pico ATX supply, and it's really nice because you just put 12 volts in this little adapter, very small. But I went through and that's sold out currently. I've sent an email asking when that would be back in stock or anything else so that I could go through and buy one direct from the source. And there's been no reply yet. I found another power supply, and I guess I could probably go through. I could probably get myself back on screen. I could probably go through and even pull some links. And I've showed this supply the last time. Get down to the correct. In fact, I may still even have it. Yeah, I even had it on still in my browser capture in OBS. And that PCjr, and as I said, I went through and this is sold out, apparently sold out currently. And I've done an inquiry. I emailed to say, hey, I'm interested in buying one. So I guess I'll have to grab the other link and see if I can source this other supply. And this even refers to the Pico ATX supply. So it is even a later design, I guess. And really does an aspect nice. It does line voltage with that. Let me get to where I can interact and kind of scroll through the page. But there it's going through and it just has a module and going through and I think you're plugging a straight 110 volt into that plug, and they're showing the original, that ATX to PCjr power supply, but talking about the differences in design here. And as I say, I may have to go through and source one of those, but in any regard, I'll probably also just get a plain PCjr Power-Brick that works. I've got to go through and have the original items and see if I can what's working of those power supplies as well. So I kind of knew it would get to this. I didn't have a backup otherwise for that 16.7 AC power supply. It plugs into that. So and another note, I mean even my background monitor, I would love to have a picture up or something else or some stuff. I thought about that. And before I discovered the PC Junior power supply not working, the power supply on that unit has gone out. And luckily, it's a separate power supply, and I do have others of those on hand. It's just a DC 19-volt power supply that a lot of units, but that Lenovo's Think Center unit, really small, really nice unit, has to have that power supply to work. And thankfully, in this case, it's an external supply. It's not anything on the unit itself. So I've got to get that going too. So um, power supply issues or the power in to these units. One, the original IBM design um, from 1985, 84, whenever the PC Junior came out. And then that later Lenovo that bought the PC business off of IBM, it also having a power supply issue for that. So they guess they failed together, or they're both failed. They wouldn't have been failed together because um, the last time I had my background monitor was just within probably the last couple weeks. So there's that. So as soon as I get that running, I've got some other videos in the pipeline planned too. I'll just have to avoid the doing anything on the PC Junior for now until I get a power supply that'll work with them. Get that going. So if you enjoyed this video, by all means, go ahead and click on that like button, please. And as always, subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. I do intend to get back and start getting content out again. It's just a little bit demoralizing when something like this happens, when I have something planned I want to get through and cover a background of getting the PC Junior fired up. Well, let's not say fired up with these old systems, let's say powered up. And it just goes wrong. And I have a single part, even though I've got a lot of other duplicates on many other fronts, and just doesn't work out. So, but that's all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.